Hi, my name is Terry Lee from Sweet Pea Papers and the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group. This is video 5 in our Midnight Meadow series, and the kit is a collaboration between CollageType and Tatty Treasure Shop, and this is my design team project for October of 2022, where we're using all of the portrait pages, and I've decided to go with the ones with the rust in them, except for the cover. I realized it just has that little bit of rust, but we're matching the rust in our inking because I did both gathered twigs and rusty hinge on the border to pick up this little bit of rust. And so the reason we're looking at the cover and not at page 5 is I needed to tell you something about the cover. Once I put the journal in, I realize I'm talking fast. This is the third time I've tried to record this. Once I put the journal in, then it buckled the front for some reason, the pocket, and it gaped open, and it was totally unattractive. So I had to glue the pocket shut. So in the process, we lost this beautiful writing card because there was nowhere to put it. Unfortunately, because of the bird on it, there's no way to narrow it down and use it somewhere else in our folio. So bye-bye beautiful tag that we worked so hard to make sure the bird was in the middle. And it goes with the scraps. There might be some way to cut it like this and use it somewhere, but I don't think any of our pockets are that wide because that width of the bird is wider than the folio itself. So sorry about that. Okay, so let's go on to page 5. Page 5 is the page 5 is the back cover, and I was going to do a large pamphlet. Pamphlet closure on there, policy closure. On there. And then I realized that the string that closes the book would run right across it, which would be fine aesthetically, but functionally you wouldn't be able to take anything out of the pocket because the string would be tight. So that's not going to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a large policy closure pocket here. We're going to make a smaller regular pocket up here. And we're going to put another policy closure pocket down here. And the way we're going to do that, I'm going to show you right now. So, I think. So this is the paper for the page. And most of it's going to be covered. In fact, all but the borders are going to be covered. But we did need a paper on here because of the top pocket. If we had made the policy closure pocket the whole size, then we still would have needed a paper underneath because we wouldn't have been able to fold it. Okay, so now in order to make the pockets the way we've been making them so that there's an inside, which is the side that's printed on the back. I know this doesn't look like it's printed on the back. It's a very faint design, but it is. So we had to have a print that was non-directional. So I made the mistake first time of using a directional paper and didn't realize there was text on it, and then made the text upside down on the pocket part. So then I did it again. I printed this paper and we did it, and then I forgot to print on the back. Version 2 video bust. So usually I leave my mistakes in, but it took up so much time of the video that I didn't want to leave them in. I thought I would just tell you what had happened so that if you wouldn't make the same mistake. So now we're going to determine the size of this. Let's first, we know we're going to score these at 1.5 inches. Our policy closure circle is 1 inch, and we need space on the top and the bottom, so we have a way to attach it. So let's score at 1.5 inches, I probably could have done both at once. So these are the smallest tabs or flaps I'm really allowed to get away with. So we'll go ahead and fold those over. Make sure they're straight. That would be helpful. Oh, look at me bleeding all over. Huh. I was outside yesterday, and I have a blackberry bush, and I've grown it into a shrub. I mean, a blackberry vine, and I've grown it into a shrub by weaving the stems in and out of each other instead of letting it vine out. And now it's up to my chest. Yes, I'm 4'11", so that's not that tall, but still. And I went outside, and when I came back in, I didn't even realize it, and I had a piece of blackberry vine stuck to my shirt. So that was fun. Take our scoring blade off, which, I don't know if I told you this before, but it has a tendency to come apart. But don't freak out. All you have to do is snap it back in. Kind of upsets me that, I guess I could put a little bit of glue and glue it back in. Just thought of that. But anyway, if that happens to you, just snap it back in. See, this could come out too, but it never has. So anyway, I must have scratched myself on the blackberry vine outside and not realized it, and I got blood all over me. Alright, so now we can't just fold this up, and we're going to make it narrower, wider than we did before to make it easier to get stuff in and out of the pocket. We're basically making a matchbook. Oh, that's why it was shorter. Let's make it as long as we can. Yep, apparently that's as large as we can make an 11-inch paper, which is still fine. I think it's probably going to... Oh, no, it won't. What if I make the other one the same size? No, that wouldn't work. We'll have to make it a little bit smaller, but we can overlap it. And it should still work. Okay. So let's do that. Let's make this so it will fit on here. It'd be easier to score it right there, wouldn't it? So I've changed it 3 times. But you have to be flexible. Whoops. Okay. So now we want this to come up. only want it to come up this far. So we're going to cut it right there. Well, at least I'm getting better at making them. Let's check it. That'll work. Okay. So now let's mark on here where our string line is. Looks like it's going to be right under this big word. That'll give us an idea about the placement of our top pocket. So now we need to ink everything. Don't forget the folds. I'm just inking this across the top. I'm not really inking it to either side. It already makes it dark. And you won't really see this one except for from the side. Now, both of these are going to need those little side closures. But I showed you how to do that once already, and it's a little time consuming. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to make them the little accordion side pieces, and then we'll come back once I've got them made, and I'll go ahead and ink this as well, and then use our coffee dyed paper to make our little 1-inch accordions. Okay? Alright, I'll see you in a sec. So I have got these done, and I've got everything inked, and I poked the holes in the circles that I had already covered, and I got her twine out. Now what we need to do is we need to put the circles on the flaps. I know this seems backwards, but trust me. She says after messing it up 3 times. So you want to put the circle on the flap. Now, since these are going to be lined up, and we want them to be straight, I can put this up as far as I want to measure it, because we can put this as far down on the flap as we want, but it'll be easier to I guess I should have just done it this way. Alexa's beeping me to tell me a shipment's going to arrive today. Yay, how exciting. It's a laundry stick. So there you go. Alright, let's see if these look lined up. Let's get our crocodile, which is what I use to poke the holes or cut the holes in those. OC, as we say off camera. Okay. So now we're going to put these on with our brad. We're going to have to put a circle on the inside to cover the brad, but I didn't think about that. So I will do that off camera. It won't make any difference for what we're doing. But I have a circle, I just don't have any paper on it. I like to use the cardboard itself again, or the manila folder again, even though it makes it raised up a little bit. It's smoother. I don't know. Yeah. And on a side note, I wished I had used darker print on the back, because the print is so faint that it almost looks like the paper is just white, which it's not. Okay, so let's do this one. But you can just cut a circle of the paper and put it over that to cover it up. Might just do that. They're awful small to have the thickness on the inside. Having a little difficulty with my hands this morning. Yay. We're not going to put bottom closures on these. Excuse me. I'm coughing, the dog's barking, things are going on everywhere. What we're going to do is this top one, the string for the closure is going to be attached behind this one. Right? It's going to stick out from here and wrap around. Then this one is going to wrap around and it's going to go behind this pocket. Now this won't tear like the other one did, and I fixed it with Fabri-Tac anyway. Because this is a double thickness that it's coming out and around over, and that makes it reinforced. So let's see if this is about right. No, that's too high. I want to mark where on the big one I want the top of the little one to be. Okay, so in order to do this, we need to cut the string. We need to cut our cord. And remember, this is not the end that's going to be knotted like, this is going to be the end that's looped. I just want to get a general idea of how long. Well, it doesn't matter, does it? So we're going to glue it. I keep my scissors in the exact same spot, and here I was looking around for them. Okay, then we're going to glue it to the back of the pocket right behind the brad. And you can feel where the brad is. And I'm impatient. I don't want to wait for it to dry. So I'm also just going to put a little piece of tape across it. Okay. And then we want to glue the bottom closure onto the bottom of the pocket so that it comes up straight. It should be the center. So we're going to want to cut another piece. That comes up from the bottom. And that's going to close the bottom pocket. Nifty neato, huh? Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to overlap these so close because we would not have had enough room for the bottom circle. So we wouldn't have been able to put both pockets on. Oh yeah, and I have what amounts to a paper cut on my thumb from the raspberry or blackberry bush, and that feels like a paper cut. Oh, I don't know if I said that in the first video or the first try or the second try. I was out messing with my blackberry vine. It should be right. They look pretty straight. Right, now we're going to glue this pocket on top of this one, and I don't think we're going to have enough room to make a pocket because we need the string to go and all that, so we're not going to bother gluing it on as a pocket. Plus it's holding both strings. So let's make it nice and strong. Oh, I filled my glue, which also thinned it. It was getting thick. With Fabri-Tac, you can thin it with acetate. not nail polish remover, but 100% acetate. Let's make sure we put it on right side up. Don't get this caught in the glue. And then we put the bottom glue on there. That's to glue it to the page, isn't it? Or the paper. Wipe that off. Well, we're a step ahead of our next step. Our next step, let's go ahead and tie this to get it out of the way. Now, it goes behind there. Well, that's just going to go around there. We can trim it. And then let's do this one this way. So one goes one way and one goes the other. Because, you know, we want it to be aesthetically pleasing. And I've been watching Project Runway. I've been binging it. Not Project Runway, but the new one. Make the Cut. Well, now Project Runway, because I was binging the other one, and so I thought, okay. But anyway, everything has to be just so-so, you know. Now remember, we need to attach these below the line where the, now this one, if we put it on as a pocket, no, that won't work either. Even though you could put something in and not get it out without the string being undone, or you could just pull it out. We're going to have a pocket up here, and I don't really like, I don't want to just overlap the, I mean, you could. On a different project, it would be alright. Plus, it's the back cover. Okay. So we want to put this on with just a little space. See if we can move it down just a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Pretty cool. Now, let's just put a small flat pocket on the top, which this should work. And then our closure will run right in between. Oh, this is just a smidge wide. How can this be a smidge wide? Out of 8. Oh, it's this. That little bit of glue was kind of thick, and it didn't dry when I wiped it off. That's how you do that. Okay, let's trim this. Oh, you know what we didn't do? We still have to put these on. Here I was thinking we were done. Now, if you wanted to make writing spaces instead of pockets, you could leave them as they are, because it would open up like this, and then it would flip down like that, which is actually kind of cool. Because if we put these expanders on, does that mean that the binder is not going to lay flat, or the folio? I think there's enough. Okay, so before we put the top pocket on, get all carried away. Hey, poor dog. Neighbor's dog weighs 100 pounds and he's tromping up and down the stairs. He bought a pit bull puppy. He's about 6 months old now and he weighs about 100 pounds. Well, probably not that much, but a lot. I'm now wishing we had glued this on as a pocket. Oh no, string, string, string. I keep forgetting. Okay, let's make this a little bit narrower. I don't want to forget to ink it. Then we'll glue it. We'll do all of our gluing. So if you were taking this with you and you had a receipt or something, you could fold it up and stick it in there so you didn't have to open your book up. Same with these. Okay. Now let's just do all of our gluing. And then we'll be done. Except for the string around the front. I'm going to glue this one first. Glue it to the center point is on the outside, just like we did the others. I don't know how. Oh, I think I measured these before we had to make the pocket smaller. Let's let the glue dry on those. And then I can trim them without getting glue on my scissors. Oh, for goodness sake. Okay, now this has writing on it, so we need to glue it on like this. Now I'm not gonna do ephemera on this. This is it's a design team project, so I should. I didn't really make this for a heavy ephemera project, but we can put some here and there. Also, we've made this so narrow. The regular sized ephemera is too large, so we have to reduce it down. So I'm going to see if I can reduce some down and get some that would fit. And then if I, put some on and then add a little bit to the end of this video as a, a final little flip through. Oh, good grief. If not, we'll do a quick overview at the end of this. And I guess these are going to be too long. No, but I'm going to make them just a smidge shorter. Anyway. Okay. We are going to put beads on the front. Let's try this. This is attempt number 2. Plain silliness. I didn't double check. I know why. Because I put them on here instead of on here, which is going to fold up. Plain silliness, just not paying attention. Hopefully I'll be able to tie. So we can tie knots in the closure cord and put the beads on. I don't want that to show above where that was wrong. Take this glue eraser and get rid of that. Okay. Now this one, we're going to have to try to do it like this because this will make a crease. Oh, it won't matter now. It won't matter. We just can't open it up all the way. We don't want to make a crease in our bottom pocket. So technically we should have done this one first. I'm holding this close to myself so that I can see. I realize that you can't probably see what I'm doing, but I'm doing exactly what I did on the other one. I just needed to see what I was doing up close. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing. I'm gluing this to this side. Like so. And I'm going to put glue on these. Well, I've never done this particular way before. Others have probably done it. They probably have different ways. Okay, you want to make sure that this folds down flat. Okay, so now you have the double expandable pocket. You could trim this. Remember, I made them extra long just so they would, to make sure they would close. So they're both long. And then we've got our top pocket here. So we'll put this on our book. Let's hold it up here and make sure everything lines up. Looks like it's going to be pretty darn close. Looks like we're going to have to push it down though, but I'm not going to. The string can be moved a little bit as it's wrapped around. So I'm not going to worry about 1/8 of an inch. I'm not going to have a coronary over that. And what's the saying? It's a junk journal. Handmade. No machines to measure to the millisecond, or millimeter. Millisecond. To measure to the Maleficent. Because she's very important. Her mirror might be telling her things about us. That's a good movie, though. Angelina Jolie. I think that's who that was. Yeah. I really like her a lot. Make sure you put your pocket on the top. I'm just pushing down around the edges to make sure everything sticks. Okay, now we've got our two policy closures. And on the front we need to tie our string on here. This is waxed bookbinder's thread. So all you're going to do is tie this. You guys have probably done these before. I left it extra long so it would be easier for me to do. Okay, now we're going to go around. Yeah, it's just a smidge off. It'll be fine because we're going to put it around like that. We're going to bring it around again, bring it down. Okay. And we're going to make it long enough that we can put some beads on, and you have to take into account knots. And I want to put 2 sets on, and then we can always trim the bottom if we need to. Kind of wasting some serious string here today, but okay, now I know I got these. I got this jar of these, which there's a lot in there of all different colors on Amazon for, I don't know, $5 or $6. And I pulled out the ones that are this color. So they have the gold in them and the brown, and they have the black. Oops. I don't want them to go all the way to the top. So I better tie a knot in here. Yeah, that's going to take up space. I don't think I'm going to be able to do 2 sets. Should have left it longer. But I only have to tie 1 knot. Pretty sure these beads stop at 1. The hole's pretty small. In fact, on that one it's so small it doesn't go all the way through. I was like, what? Let's put 3. I think we can get away with 2 sets. Now, I don't really care if they're right up against each other or not. You know what I mean? If there's a little play in it, then that's fine. Do want to try to get it as close as I can. Which isn't bad. And then let's do 3 more. I didn't want to put it too far up, because that way we can wrap it around, I think, once, maybe not, if we wanted to. I found that twice around, and straight down will hold it. in most cases. And there's enough room on the cover for some customization. There's a lot of empty real estate right in here where the roots are. So I'll probably put something on there. It's probably a better way than sticking the end of it in my mouth. Oh, looks like I might have to trim it. All we need is one more bead. And then this one we'll do a double knot. And this is waxed, so looks pretty cool. Did go through that one knot, didn't it? That's alright too. So I'm going to put a drop of glue on there, but I'll do that afterwards. And then I'm going to trim it about down here, just in case I need to do some. In fact, I'm not going to trim it yet. I'm going to wait. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on there and make sure that holds it. And then I'll go ahead and trim this off. Okay? All right, so this is what we've got. It's just a quick, I may do an actual flip through. Triple pocket with a bookmark, ink pen, notepad, double pocket, pocket with the double notepads, and the collage underneath, and the pocket up here. Yeah, this needs to go in here. I don't know why I was trying to do it any other way. Yeah, I think the journal could be a little bit narrower this way. And then on the back, we've got our double pockets back here that the closures are glued underneath each other with a top pocket back here. Okay. I guess it's not going to be that much different with ephemera. There we go. And then I'll put something on the front here. I've got some of this. And then I'll cut out some sort of a piece. And then I'll probably put a word or something on there. There's not a whole lot of room, and I do want the flowers to show because it's Midnight Meadow. If there's Midnight Meadow typed out in those words, then I will use that. Okay, here's the final flip through. I went through and put in the ephemera, and I put the beads on the tie. Well, we did that in the previous section. So here's the front. And I put a little bit of gauze behind here. It's a light color that matches this, so it's kind of hard to see unless you're looking at it. I don't know how well it shows up on camera. Probably not at all. And then this little tag that says Midnight Meadow, Exhibition Pass, is a little tag. This is a little pocket. And then, of course, this goes around above this pocket as she pushes it up there above the pocket. This only goes around once. The weight of the beads holds it down. This goes around twice. And you open it up, and the bookmark says Walk in the Woods. There's the 2 tags right here. There's one here and one here. Then you open this, or you look on this side, and there's these 2 tags, and I made a pocket out of what were originally tickets, and then I cut the little ticket part off to make the pocket. Here's our pen that we made. Then when you open it up again, here's our journal, and I added field diary on here. Then on here I added wildflowers and meadowland, and that was before I realized that I should have put something on here that was related to samples of something that you would put in the pocket, which is what I realized later, but that's okay, it looks good. And then over here we have our double cards, and I put a piece of ephemera on this one, and then here's our second one, held on with a paper clip. And here's a tag, and when you open these up, then our collage is here, and both of these are printed on the back so that you can write on them. And those are held in by the paper clip, kind of, sort of. One of those things that you don't try to take out during the flip through. And then you close this up. Oops. You put the journal back in. And then you close this, and you close this, and you flip over to the back where we've got our triple pocket. There's a pocket here. There's the pocket that opens here and the one that opens here. This one, the closure comes from the bottom. This one, the closure comes from the bottom. Oops, let me grab a hold of it. From the bottom here. So both ties are glued behind this pocket. And they both open, of course. And these are printed on the inside, but the print is so light that it looks white. So we could have used a different one there. So anyway, that's it. I put flora and fauna and botanicals on here, which is what I was talking about, putting something on there that kind of reflected what you could put in the pocket. So that's it. I think it turned out really nice. And I hope you like it too, since you worked so hard to make yours. I hope you followed along and made one. And so that's it. That's what our Midnight Meadow little folio looks like. And I will see you in the next video series, and that will be just a second for you and a day for me. Okay, bye-bye.